always room for one more.
We're in big trouble.
How similar is the new Haunted Mansion movie to the Haunted Mansion ride in the Disney parks? We've seen in the past that they strayed away quite a bit from the ride at Disneyland, Disney World, and across the world, but in this new film there are countless Easter eggs, references, characters, and more that have been scattered throughout the movie.
It goes without saying this video contains spoilers, so if you're looking to be spoiler free, then come back after you watch the movie to see the insane amount of things they managed to fit in this film.
With that said, the movie takes place in New Orleans, similar to how the Haunted Mansion ride is located in New Orleans Square at Disneyland. Our main character is Ben, who later meets the other primary characters, Gabby and Travis, who are a mother and son.
Gabby and Travis move into the Haunted Mansion not knowing of its hauntings and quickly leave once realizing it. This is the first time we are introduced to the Hatbox Ghost, who hauntingly says,
You'll be back. You'll be back.
which is a reference to the ghostess at the end of the ride, more commonly known as Little Leota, who says,
Once Ben meets Gabby and Travis, Gabby tells Ben not to use the flash because the ghosts are sensitive to light, similar to when the ghost host says,
And no flash pictures, please. We spirits are frightfully sensitive to bright lights.
The knight who stands next to the endless hallway makes several appearances in the film. And speaking of the endless hallway, the floating candelabra is seen down a long hallway for a brief moment when Ben is searching around the mansion.
Every time one of the characters tries to leave the mansion, hitchhiking ghosts appear in the back of their car and follow them. These are not the same 3 hitchhiking ghosts we are used to, but in a scene where Ben is having some sort of vision, the hitchhiking ghosts greet Ben and ask to take them with him. In this sort of dream, the caretaker and his dog also greet Ben and warn him.
One of the coolest references in the film is a ghostly character named William Gracie, which is a reference to a former Disney Imagineer, Yale Gracie, who worked on the Haunted Mansion and is known for his master illusions in the ride and being the creator of the Hatbox Ghost.
Not only this, but the Hatbox Ghost's name, which is revealed to be Alistair Crump, is a reference to another Disney legend, Raleigh Crump, who was one of the leading creative forces in the production of the Haunted Mansion.
Soon after discovering the Hatbox Ghost's real name, the characters visit Crump's Manor, which was Crump's mansion that he had lived in when he was alive. The outward appearance of Crump's Manor is the same as the Disney World version of the Haunted Mansion. Since the film focuses on the Disneyland version of the attraction, seeing a major tribute to the Disney World Haunted Mansion was not expected.
In Crump's Manor, one of the tour guides plays a very familiar tune on the piano for a brief moment, the song being It's a Small World. There are many occasions where several of the characters say iconic lines from the ghost host's monologue.
The dining room scene in the ride is seen several times throughout the films, as well as characters from the dining room, such as Victor Geist, who is the organist, and even the ghostly lady blowing out candles on a cake. The duelists that are usually found in the dining room are not just in their portraits, but are actually in several scenes throughout the movie.
Another classic room in the Haunted Mansion ride is the stretching room. The stretching room is one of the main locations in the movie. The room and portraits even play a grander part than you would think. The room where Constance Hatchaway resides in the ride is known as the attic, and in the movie the attic is portrayed very similarly. It shows off portraits of the bride and the groom with a disappearing head just like the ride.
The movie did a phenomenal job showing all the rooms that are in the Haunted Mansion, so of course the seance room wasn't forgotten either. There are 2 types of chairs shown in the seance room, one being Madame Leota's chair in which the Raven sits on. The second chair's design is inspired by the Doom Buggy. It has an overarching back of the chair and even moves like the Doom Buggy.
In the seance room, we also see Madame Leota in her crystal ball, as well as her spell book, which is what she reads from as she sets her spell in the ride.
The characters try to understand the layout of the Haunted Mansion by looking at blueprints. These blueprints look very similar to those of the ones that Disney Imagineers had created when constructing the Haunted Mansion.
In the Disney World ride, there is a picture of a lady that looks like a werecat. This is where the picture for the ride is taken. In the film, the cat lady is quickly seen and a flash then makes her disappear, referencing the picture taken at this part in the ride.
One of the hitchhiking ghosts that specifically follows Ben home is a sailor who we can most likely assume is the Mariner. The Mariner is a ghost that haunts the Haunted Mansion. We specifically see him in his tub-shaped crypt in the queue of the ride.
As Ben searches for Travis in a scene, he comes across the endless staircase, the only difference being that there are no footsteps seen in the movie version. Earlier in the movie, when they are at the Haunted Mansion referencing Disney Disney World, Travis comes across a reference to the ride. Travis goes underground where he finds a graveyard in which the tombstones have puns on them, like how the Haunted Mansion queue does.
One of the coolest and most anticipating aspects of the movie is the Hatbox Ghost, and not only does he make multiple appearances as the main antagonist, but his first appearance in the movie is when the grandfather clock hits 13 o'clock, similar to the grandfather clock in the ride.
Lastly, when entering the graveyard in the ride, you'll see ghosts swirling around in the air, and as the graveyard scene is shown in the movie, the ghosts are seen circling around the graveyard as well.
This is our full list of every Easter egg and reference in comparison to the ride that we could catch. If we missed any, let us know in the comments below, and tell us what you think of the movie.